Good evening, everybody, or hello again if you're watching both of the holdings and trades videos. Of course, in this one, we go over the single stock ETFs, also known as the named ETFs, Yieldmax ETFs. We're just going to jump right into this. I think there's only one thing I changed that I said I would do yesterday, and we'll see that on the holdings tab. So here we see AIYY isn't reflecting any trades, so we'll just go on over here, and then you can see here, this is where I talked about that I was going to highlight. And no, well, at least for me, it messes up my pretty spreadsheet and neat. Now we're going to have these pop-up reds, but it will help us, especially with those synthetics, because if we're not fully paying attention to them a lot, we might not notice, but some of them, a lot of them expire next week. So these will be color coded like the Alti sheet is. If you've seen that one, if you've been tracking that one, so we'll go red, yellow, and I think we have green on the next color, but we don't have any of those here. So that's the only change that I've made as far as that goes. So we'll look here, AIYY. And then I don't know if y'all know it, but overall the market as a whole the last 2 days has been down. Up, most things. There's been a few things that have still, that have been up. But a lot of things have been down, especially Tesla, if you didn't already know. But anyway, AIYY closed at 1677 today, which is actually interesting because the NAV, it says it's 1564. So let's see. Let me just look. I know we have one little change on our spreadsheets, but that just doesn't seem right when we are. I wonder if that's why. So it either, it's always something, right? I'm just going back to a previous day. Yeah. So either either the data was messed up, or they changed the way that they are doing the net assets. So, sorry, I'm thinking through this. So this data on the right, this is some of the raw data. So if we look in column R here, you see it says net assets. They're all exactly the same, right? It doesn't matter if it's a synthetic or short call or cash, or even now we have the money market. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. But as you just saw, on today's holdings, they're not. They're all the same until you get to the cash. And then it includes the cash once it gets there. Nope. That's not even the cash. Because I know I'm not doing math right now. But there's no way, because we're talking over here 1.3 million, and this is like 1 million. And the other is only, okay. So well, that's, I don't know. Something is not right though, because when I sum all of these, that equals that first net asset amount. So I'm not sure where this is coming from, but it looks like it is on all of those, all of them. The net asset is different on the cash line than it is on the other ones. And I've never checked, but Retire on Dividends said the one that's on their website, because I had built a formula for him to pull the net assets from the website itself, but he was saying it always lags and isn't as up to date as the holding is. So then I had him change, the formula to pull from here, from the actual holdings. But now I'm wondering, though, what's going on and why all of a sudden, if it's just a glitch, something happened today, somebody did something. I don't know. I do not know. But I do know that something is different. And yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to bother Jay with this because I've bothered him too much. And I think he said he was traveling this week also. Either that or he just didn't want me to call him. But no, I'm just playing. Or not call him, I'm sorry, email him. But yeah, so I don't know. Something though, oh, duh. The distribution, it just hit me. I should know this because I've done 2 distribution videos today. So that's why. That's why there's a difference. But then it makes me, oh well, I guess because I didn't have the data saved, or I did, but wasn't looking at all this so closely, and I don't want to have to go back and find the distribution dates and stuff. But that's why there's a difference. I didn't realize it showed like this on the left. All right, so at least now I know. It just took me a few seconds for it to click in my brain. I'm sure you watching are probably like, you're so stupid. You probably knew it for minutes before it clicked in my head. But this is like, I don't know, my 4th or 5th video today. I don't even know. But I've been doing this since I got off of work. So I did spreadsheets at work all day, which is a very, very, very stressful day. And I had taskers and all kinds of things coming from every direction. And then I got off of work and went directly into working on the spreadsheets for this. The distribution sheets, the div sheets, the 3 or 4 different things that I was working on. But, okay, so with that said, I wouldn't pay attention to the SNAV price over here and that reduction as far as, whatever, because tomorrow is ex-dividend date. Today was declaration date. Tomorrow's ex-dividend date. Therefore, tomorrow the stock price will drop. The ETF price should drop by the amount of the distribution. Now, we've had these conversations before too, and that's like when it first opened, right? Pre-market, 4 o'clock in the morning. So if the market's green, it's been, it's fairly green, then the next morning, if you're waiting until 9:30 to buy, you're probably not going to get it at that lowest amount that you could have. However, so I'm going to preface this with, I know my husband asked me today, but this is not financial advice. This is based on what I have seen myself, and I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a stock market guru or anything of the sorts, okay? But what I have seen is if we're typically green, have a green market, that the next day the stock price is gonna, rise. So therefore you may miss out if you were like, oh, I'm not going to buy till the next morning, unless you're there at 4 o'clock in the morning, or even if you are, you still may not get it at that lowest amount because the stock price may have went up. Of course, if you're in a red market, which is what we've been the last 2 days, or I say red market, but if the stock market has been red, then usually I'm not trying to buy it at 4 o'clock in the morning, because it's as long as nothing good's coming out, which nothing's going to come out that early. But usually they're just going to continue red and possibly going down through the day. So if we are expecting another red day tomorrow, then I definitely wouldn't be buying at 4 o'clock in the morning. But there is a difference I know some people said, oh, well, when the market opened, it hadn't dropped. But that's because, again, we're talking about that 4 o'clock morning time. And unfortunately, if you have somebody like Fidelity, you don't get a 4 o'clock morning, you get a 7:30 morning. And then when you get a 7:30 morning, you have to be in there making those trades at that minute because you can't make them ahead of time. So, yeah. Okay, sorry for the total rant on a totally different topic. So, anyways, we closed AIYY at 1677, and AI closed at 3126. A lot of these you may see significantly decreased due to the red market from the past day or two. Because I think yesterday AI was at 33, and the day before it was like 35. So, which hopefully that means we won't be over any of our strikes for our short calls this week. And if you did not watch my other video, it has been suggested that I change my W and weekly to short call. So I will do it. It's just I have data built into formulas looking specifically like for weeklies or W's, and I have codes and keys because most of my stuff is automated. But so that's long story short. I'll get to it. I was going to do it today, but I was doing other things, so I didn't. And I will be looking to change that. And that's my fault. I acknowledge it's my fault for naming it weekly up front. So, and now I'm just going to fix it because I have to fix it throughout my entire workbook. Every single tab that's dated with all the trades and the roll ups or whatever, because those formulas, I have formulas throughout here, like our roundup that we did this week. Like this, I'd have to change that, and then I'd have to just change the way things look and they pull, because some of them are specifically looking for the word weekly. So anyway, just wanted to give you heads up on that. Again, I am always open for suggestions and open to constructive criticism. And just know that if you request a specific video, it may just take me a minute to get to it, or if you request me to make changes, I might get to them slowly because I have lots of requests, and some of them I really have to sit down and read or think about how to implement or whatever. So I will be working on that. And I'm never going to get through this one, am I? Okay, we're at 31.26. Our strike price for a short call is $39. So we are $7.74 away from that. So we'll go ahead and move on to AMDY. And I don't know why I'm over there versus over here. Okay, so if we go to our trades, we have AMDY here, and I don't have anything highlighted, so all we should be doing here is adding to our synthetic and short call that we already have with the same strike prices. But overall, the trades for this day ended up costing $52,000 here for all three of those. If we go over to our holdings, we can see that AMDY closed at $23.95 today. AMD closed at $205.13. We're about $10 from our first strike price for a short call, which expires this Friday. It's 2:15. Oops, sorry. And then we have our 220 strike price, which we're about $15 from. I think AMZ, I did not do it tonight with everything going on, but I usually try to write down which ones had trades so I know when to go back and forth. I know some of you do not like it when I swap back and forth between the spreadsheets. But in this case, if I'm doing the trades and the holdings, unless I did all the trades, which I did it first, and then all the holdings, that's the only way it's going to keep me from swapping. But I know I felt it was better when I did them together, and so did some others had mentioned the same thing. So, but yeah, so AMZ here, it looks like we just added to our synthetic we already had, but then we had a new weekly short call there that will expire on Friday, and that new strike price is $177.50. It looks like we actually earned $2,000 from those trades. So if we go over in AMZ, so we see that new strike price there. We actually, for looking here, we have 3 weekly short calls that all expire on Friday. So that 177.50, this is too much math at this point in the day. We're around $3 away from that one. And then we have a 180 strike price, and we're about $6 away from that one. And then the next one, we're $8.38 away from that one. So we're not over any of those. We're not over our synthetic strike price, but we're really close. We're about 80 cents, and according to the market value over here on the right, we'd still be positive if we closed those two out. I mean, meaning we'd still earn some money from those. Of course, I don't know, I've mentioned this in the other video, and I should write this down as a question, one of my questions to Jay, but I don't know at what point of time of the day that this market value was true and correct, right? It doesn't seem that these were based on the close price, so I don't know if it's like maybe a 3:30 price, 3:30 in the afternoon, or what, I don't know. But let's see. AMZ itself ended up closing at $23 today. So we will move on to Aptly. I believe we saw some trades on the other side, on the other tab. So Aptly here, they added to the synthetic position, the strike price that we already had, and then we have a new weekly short call expiring Friday with a strike price of $175. The total trades we ended up bringing in almost $78,000 there. So if we go over to the holdings here, we can see Aptly. Let's see, Aptly closed at 1707. Apple itself closed at 170.12. I believe that was down today. I don't know. I bought a few different shares because everybody was down. I think I bought some Tesla and some Apple and a few other things, but I'd say we're actually looking good. If we look at our weekly short calls, we are almost $5 away from our first strike price, and it looks like we're $12.38 from our second strike price there, which is where most of our contracts are sitting, almost 3,000 of those. If we look at our synthetics, these close next week, so we have those highlighted now, so I really like that. It draws my attention to it, so don't forget to look at them. But we're not looking so good there. Our strike price for the synthetics is $190. We are $20 below. We would want to be above our synthetic price, and we are below. So if we add the two lines up that are synthetic, right now it's showing it will cost us $5.8 million to close those out based on whatever time of the market value came from. Of course, it's going to be different tomorrow, but at that specific time today, that's how much it would cost to close those out. And the more it goes down, the more it's going to cost. So not looking good with that one. Of course, and of course on the left, I have our weekly call value according to all of those. It would cost us $20,000 to close them out. Sorry. Dang it. Here. I don't know why Sheets keeps going all the way to the left. I don't like this new money market thing there. If we added it, Treasuries is in the middle of it too. Okay, and I have no way to hold all those down. But either way, we would still lose money. Sometimes they'll cancel each other out here, but actually I can just look at the dollar amounts and see that I'm not going to say we're screwed, but yeah, that's a lot of money there for that synthetic. And I'm hoping Tesla's going to look better than it did yesterday. That's, I think, when I first started looking at it was with Tesla, and I didn't realize because I hadn't been totally paying attention to those because they weren't close to their expiration date. But anyway, we didn't have trades over there on Coney, so that I saw. So we'll go down because I didn't see any for Dizzo either when we were there. So here for Coney, our price was $25.90 at close. Coin closed at $216.77, which is weird because I remember it being about $229 yesterday, I believe. And let's say we only have one weekly short call with a strike price of $240. So we're $23 away from that one, and that closes on Friday. So we will move on down to Dizzo. It closed at $22.20 today. Disney closed at $112.87. For our weekly short call that expires Friday, our strike price is $114, so we're $1.13 from that. And then our synthetics, they are they're $110. So we are above that by $2.87. So if we look at our market values on those, if we close those out today, we would have gotten roughly 240,000 for those because we are above them. And then I don't know if we had any meta. Let's see. So Dizzo. So okay. So we do have some meta there. We just added to the synthetic positions for the first two lines, and then we opened up a new weekly short call with the new strike price of $505. Our total trades ended up costing us $15,000. Looks like we don't have any trades until MSFO again. So we'll go over here. So Phoebe closed at $23.83 today. Meta closed at $490.22. And we have now 4 different strike prices. So they all expire Friday. And these are for a short call, sorry. We have 500, which we're $10 away from. 505, so 15. 510, 20. 515, 25. I like those nice, even non-cent numbers. But so we're looking good. We still have a few days left. We look at our synthetics here that close next week. Those are 485, and we're above them by $5. So if we would have closed them out today, it looks like we would have still received some income for those. We would have gotten roughly $600,000 to close those out. And let's see, we will go ahead and move on to GUI. GUI closed at $15.98. Google or Alphabet closed at $132.67. We have 3 different weekly short call strike prices. 135, and we're roughly 233 away. We have 140, so about 733, 141, 843. And then we have our synthetic position that will be expiring next week. Our strike price is 150, and we are not above our synthetic strike price. So if we look on the right, it looks like if we would have closed those out today, it would have cost us $3.4 million. Maybe we'll stay red this week, and then maybe the market will go back up next week to help out with all of these synthetic positions that will be expiring next week. Or at least we can only hope so, right? So we'll go on to JPMO. We have the price of close price of $21.34. JPM closed at $188.55. We have one weekly short call strike price that expires Friday and the strike price is $187.50. So you can see over here we have maxed out, so we are over our strike price by $1.05. Looking here, our synthetics will expire next week. Our strike price is $185. We are currently over that, so that's good, which means if we would have closed them out today, we would have received roughly $165,000 for those. If we go on down to Murney, sorry, I was looking at cash positions. Murney here, we closed at 2027. Moderna closed at 95.56. Our weekly short call that expires Friday has a strike price of $100. So we're $4.44 away. So looking good there. And we have our synthetic position with a strike price of $105. Obviously, we are not above our synthetic. We're below it by $10. Therefore, today, if we would have closed it, it would have cost us almost $2 million to close the synthetic. We will move over to MSFO. We know we had some trades here. Sorry if you hear it raining outside. I don't know if it's going to storm or not, but since I live in an RV, I know it can. You can hear it a lot more with the rain and stuff. But sorry about that. So anyway, MSFO. We just added to our synthetic position, and then we have a new weekly short call with that new strike price of $410. So our total trades today, we actually ended up bringing in $56,000 for those. All right. Nope, it's not what I wanted to do. We need to go here. So MSFO, we closed at 22.39. Microsoft closed at 402.65. And we have 4 different weekly short call strike prices that will expire, short calls that will expire Friday, with strike prices ranging from $4.10 to $4.22.50. So we're $7 away, about $7 away from our first strike price, and then we're almost $20 away from our largest strike price, which has most of our shares on it. And then if we look at our synthetic position, our synthetic's $420. And we are below that synthetic position by almost, or somewhere around $18 there. So if we had to have closed that out today, it would cost us almost $1.5 million to close that. If we go on down to Misty, it closed at 26.18 today. And then MicroStrategy closed at $1,051.01. Sorry. I was looking at the dates and the synthetic call. But we have 4 weekly short calls that expire in a few days. They range anywhere from $1,230 to $1,600. So from that highest strike price, we're $550 away. I mentioned this in my other video, but MicroStrategy I know was tanking at the end of the day. I remember seeing it hit 10.30 something. I had a split second and thought about buying it, and then I decided after looking at the entire chart that I was not doing that personally. I didn't want to take on that risk. But 50, 60, 70, 80, so we're about $180 away from that first strike price there. So I'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm not sure what activity is going on with Bitcoin right now. We have our synthetic position, which is strike price is $9.50, and I know we don't have our option or synthetic date expiration date a different color, but it does expire this month. So on the next week, it will show up as its own color, but it does expire this month. But we are above it. So if we would have had to close those, if we'd have closed them out today, we'd have got 800,000 for them. And then I do believe we had some Nefli trades. So we're going to go over to Nefli. And actually what they did, they just ended up closing out 40 contracts. So I don't know if it's, I guess it's because people had sold out of those. That's the assumption anyway, on my part. Maybe I write that down as one of my questions, but it may be one of those dumb questions. They say no question is a dumb question, but maybe not, but it may make me look ignorant. I don't know. I just need to learn. I need to truly, truly learn. So if we go back over here, all that happened was our number of shares reduced by 40, and it was that 635 strike price, this one. So that's the one that they reduced those from. But if we look at Netflix, it closed at $18.55. Netflix closed at $598.50. So that makes us, from the first strike price, we're about $31.50 from, and our second strike price about $36.50. And then I'm not going to look at synthetics because they're not even close to expiring. I can't remember. So we did have some NVIDIA here. So we have NVIDIA. They added two contracts to the synthetic and then opened up a new strike price of $900 for the weekly short call. Man. And to open up one, wow. So that synthetic call, it cost $139 a share, $138.91 to be exact. So the total cost on that was over $3.4 million. So our total trades here ended up costing almost $3.4 million. So we go over to our holdings on NVIDIA. We closed at 31.17 today, which I didn't even realize that we were that far up. But when I was doing the requested video with all of the distributions and comparing them and our overall returns and stuff, that's when I first saw it. And it threw me off because I didn't realize we were even that high. But kudos. Hopefully you were one of the lucky ones that owned this one. Also because this one, if I remember correctly, the distribution payouts, I think $265, but somewhere around there. But it's on their website and in my video as well if you need to look those up to know for sure. And that's assuming you haven't already. But sorry, so NVIDIA closed at $859.64. We have 4 weekly short calls that expire Friday, ranging from $825 to $905. From, let's see. So the first strike price of $825 with 45 contracts, we're over that one. We're over that one by roughly, $35. So it shows that it would have cost us somewhere around $178,000 to close those out. Sorry. So it would have cost us $39.58 to close those out, a share. And then the next one, $8.50. So we ended up closing almost $10 over that one. And that's where most of our contracts are. 2,910 contracts. It's saying it would have cost us $21.78 to close those out. and the market value, in the market value column, it's saying it would have cost us 6.3 million. I'm sure if they end up closing those out with that large amount, that they're going to close some of the synthetics to cover the cost of those. At least that's what I've seen now that I'm starting to watch these and see how they're acting. That's what it looks like they're doing, based on the roll up, not the roll up, but the the roundup video that I've decided I think I want to call it, the weekly, where it showed all the trades costs and everything, by day and week, and for the past few weeks that I've been trading it. But the majority of the time, it looks like that's happening, that if they have to pay out a large to close the short call, they'll sell some of the synthetic, unless, I think the only time that I didn't see it, again, just quickly glancing as I at them, was when maybe they had to close out, like a while ago, they had to close out 40 contracts. So they just close those out, even if it cost them millions of dollars, right? So, but anyway, this is just one of my observations that I have seen, but I haven't, actually gone back to verify on every single case that this did or didn't happen. It's just what I think I've seen so far. But if we look here at our synthetics, talking about that, our synthetics are 710. We are above that by about $150. They do expire next week. And I believe yesterday I said it'd be about 44 million. We would receive about 44 million if we closed them out. Now it looks like today we would if we'd have closed them out today, we would have received about 49 point, I don't know, somewhere around 49.6 million. And then I don't remember. I think PayPal was our next one, but just in case. So OARC did not have any trades. So look at OARC. So OARC closed at 1306. ARC actually went down. It had been staying above the strike price, but we are at 48.90. Our strike price is $52 for our weekly short call expiring Friday. So we are $3.10 from that one. So we'll go over to PayPal to that trade. So PayPal, let's look. That's our last one. All right. So PayPal. This is just showing, because there's no highlights, that they just added two positions they already had. So they added to the synthetic and to the 61. So let's go here. So yeah, I knew this had multiple. So Pay closed at 1801. PayPal closed at 58.27. We have three different strike prices for our short calls: 61, 62, and 63. Therefore, we are roughly, let's say 273, 373, and 473 away from those. And then that was the last one that actually had trades. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the synthetic. So our synthetic strike price is $65, and we are under that by almost $7. So if we had to have closed that out today, we would have paid about $1.2 million. But those don't expire till next week. Squee closed at 22.51. Block closed at 74.43. We have two short call prices, strike prices, 82 and 83. So it looks like we're 757 and 857 away from those. And those are sort of evenly, like a little over 2,000 on each of those. If we look at our synthetic, it expires next week. The strike price is $80, and we are not above the strike price. So we are under that strike price by $5.50. Therefore, it's showing if we had to close these out today, that we would have paid $2.4 million to close these. And the big kahuna, Tesla. Tesla closed. It's 17.21, but I do know it got down at one point today somewhere about $16 and at least 90 cents. I don't know if it went lower than that or not, but it was 16.90 something. And Tesla ended up closing at 180.74. I remember it being at least somewhere down in the 177s. We have three different strike prices over here. We have 192.50, in which we're about $12 away. We have 195, around 24 away, 14 away, sorry. And then we have the 205, which is where the majority of our contracts sit, about $24 away. If we look at our synthetics, we have two different synthetics, and it does not look pretty. If we look at our 185 strike price, we are now $5 below it. It would cost us about $5 million to close those. And then we have our $220 strike price, which we're like $60 below. It just keeps getting worse every day. If we had to close that one out, it would cost us about $118.5 million. Yesterday, I looked back to the previous day. I can't remember what that previous day was, but it was, I don't know, 45 or 50 million we would have paid to close it out. Yesterday, I think it was about 95 million if we had to close it out, and now today we're looking at about 118 million. All we can really do is hope that the price will actually go up before next Friday. I just don't know of what catalyst could make this go up $40 before next Friday, considering it was going up and then it just got smacked in the face the last few days. But anyway, it's just it's just really bad. Okay, so we're going to move on. Zomo. Sorry, it sort of makes me a little speechless there. Zomo closed at 17.68. Exxon closed at 105.64. We are above our 103 short call strike price, which is where a majority of our contracts are, and we're over it by $2.64. We have 106 strike price. We are 36 cents from it, and $1.36 from our 107 strike price. Our synthetics, our strike price is $100, and we're over those, so it actually looks good. If we'd have closed them out today, it shows that we would have made $745,000 roughly. If we go down to YMAG, it ended up closing today at $20.41. And Ymax closed at $21.17. All right. I know, still a long video. I guess that's the good thing though about this being on YouTube, is you can fast forward. And I know it's been a really long time, so I'm not going to go over the other tab. Hopefully you found some kind of use out of this. You can look up your specific tickers if you wanted. But yeah, anyway, it's 12:30 in the morning. I think it's time to put my coffee up and now take something to help me sleep. Tonight, because of after last night, I decided I was going to have me some caffeine so I could make sure that I'd stay awake to get through these videos. But now I got to make myself go to sleep and let my husband back in the bedroom. poor guy. But anyway, I will talk to y'all tomorrow, and thank you if you stuck around. Bye.